two, one.
So, back to the technology show.
It is the technology show where we translate geek into regular speak. I'm Brett Levy. I'm your host this week. Well, another fun, action-packed show, hopefully. Well, I had fun making it, so hopefully you'll have fun listening to it. Let's get some slides going up here. Yeah, last time I think I started the show, I didn't have slides, I didn't have anything working properly. So hopefully this week all the tech stuff is back on. Looks like it's all there. Good stuff. Right, so let's get into things with a Z. Now, I am a huge fan of a brand called Lucyd, Lucyd. It's a product that I have reviewed before. I've played with some of their, well, it's a smart audio glass pair of glasses. But every time they come out with a new glasses, it's just pushing the boundary further. So without further ado, let us go into today's show. So today's Things with a Z, I am reviewing the latest pair of Lucid Smart Glasses, which is a collaboration with Reebok. If you're watching the show, you can see I've got it up on the screen. In fact, I've got them here with me. I'll take my glasses off and put them on so you can actually see. I can't see if you can see anything, but there we go. I got them there. There we go. Can see again. So basically, yeah, latest release, partnership with Reebok, truly outdone themselves. Now, as I said, I have played with these glasses before. I've actually reviewed all kinds of different configurations of smart glasses, but these ones are a game changer. So let's get into what really sets these apart, and that's the audio experience. Now, you know, it seems a bit obvious. You're buying a pair of smart glasses with audio for a reason, but they've gone and actually created hi-fi in an open ear environment. Now, that's pretty hard to do. If you're watching the show, I'm going to direct your eyes to the image. You can actually see how wide the space is on the side here. Although it looks cool, and I've got them in front of me as well, there's a reason for that, because they have packed them with speakers. Speakers are engineered to deliver sound that's rich, it's powerful. You get that satisfying, punchy bass, but you also get crystal clear highs. So you can truly appreciate like your favorite songs, or you listen to your audiobook. But the genius is that the audio is actually delivered without ever blocking your ears. Now, this is a massive safety feature, especially if you're an athlete. And these glasses are designed for athletes. Not that I'm not an athlete and I wear them every day, but while you're running or cycling, you can now listen to your favorite playlist. You can listen to your podcast. You can do what you want, but your ears are still open to the surrounds. I think I do have a picture later on when someone's actually wearing them, and I said I'm happy to put them back on again. But being glasses, they sit above your ears, so they don't block anything off. Why is this important? Well, you might be running on the road or riding a bicycle, car hits a hooter, and you don't hear them if you're wearing noise cancelling. So maybe you want to run and speak to a fellow runner. I run in a running group. We chat while we're running, if you can call what we do running, but that's a story for another day. So you get best of both worlds. I've actually got to change the picture now as well. You can see it from the side. So just to describe for the people that are listening to the show, instead of watching it, they are not overly big on the sides. So, you know, a lot of glasses, even the glasses I'm wearing now, have a very thin arm. In order to put the speakers in, you obviously have to trade off some real estate. In this case, you need to make it bigger, but they look cool, like it, and it's got the Reebok logos on there as well. So, you know, this is a collaboration. It's a brand partnership, and what better place to put the brand than on the side of the arms of the glasses? Some people, I just want to go back to the sound. Some people might not like the fact that these are open. You might be one of those people that listens to active noise canceling mode the whole time, earbuds in or big over the head cans. Then these glasses are not for you. It's just that simple. I don't think Lucid is apologetic. They've gone with this right for a reason. It's an open ear environment. The sound is not bad. You know, a lot of people have said, oh, but you know, the car goes past and you're going to hear it. This is true. I mentioned I'm not an athlete by any way, shape, or form. I walk to work every day and I wear my glasses. I listen to my audiobooks. I can hear it clearly. But every now and then, if the traffic comes past, or a big truck or a big bus, yes, it will block out what I'm hearing. Um, I've actually got a little hack for that. So if it's winter, you just put your hands over your ears, and just like make a little bit of a cup, like an open cup, and it works really well. Or a hoodie. So if you just put your hoodie on, I mentioned if it's winter. So if it's winter, you just put your hoodie up, and then it creates like a whole vacuum inside. Or now it's spring and it's hot. We're not wearing jackets in the Gold Coast. Sorry, not bragging. Am bragging. But yeah, basically you can just put your hand, like cup the back of your ears, and it just brings that sound full. And in doing that, you also get to really, really appreciate the genius that has gone behind the development of the speakers that are inside these glasses. As I said, I have been a big fan of Lucid for years. I think I had one of their first pairs of glasses. I have a pair of prescription Lucid glasses as well, which I have at home. They set for a different distance, so I can't actually look at my computer with those glasses. Hence, I'm not wearing them. I also don't need to have speakers on at work. I'm speaking to people here, but I could because they're open ears. But the point that I'm making is that they've actually re-engineered the speaker system inside. When I was speaking to the CEO of the company on chat, he was saying to me that these are not like anything I've listened to before, and he wasn't lying. If you take another pair of Lucid, which are not bad, I'm not knocking the different styles, but for being outdoors, being athletic, sweating, running, etc., these are really, really good. Anyway, let's get back to it. So from a design and durability point of view, and I was just saying that now, these have been built from the ground up. They haven't just like brought in another version. They sleek, they have an athletic look. It's actually instantly recognizable that these are a Reebok product. If you look at any of Reebok stuff in the past, and Reebok has made glasses in the past, they have the thick side arms. They've got these non-apologetic face frames. I mean, I do definitely have another picture coming up, but you see them full on. In fact, I can go back to the previous one. You can see little cutouts in the lenses above, and right in the middle above the nose is the word Reebok. I mean, they're just awesome. But the technology is Lucid, so I think that's quite important to acknowledge as well. Is that yes, Reebok might have been involved from the style or the design point of view or the brand point of view, but it's still Lucid technology. And I don't think I mentioned at the beginning, but Lucid's actually a listed company on the New York Stock Exchange. Anyway, I love how they're different. I think they look different. There's a few different styles in the range, by the way. I just want to point that out. So I'm talking about the Octanes. There are different styles. I know one of the other names was Nitro. I can't remember the third one. I think there were 3 or 4 to choose from. That was actually the hardest decision for me. Was whether I just get 1 pair or maybe get 2 pairs, or which pair. In fact, again, speaking to the CEO, hey Harrison, I actually said to him, I'm stuck between the two. I think, and that's why I remember the name Nitro. I was considering Nitro and Octane, and I could not decide. And ultimately, what decided it for me was the Octanes. The Nitros were designed that you could actually replace the lenses and put them into like normal RX mode, which I didn't want. I wanted sunny, so we went with the Octanes. Not that the Nitros wouldn't have been good ones. They look pretty cool, but they also didn't look as funky. They didn't have the cut lenses like these ones have got. So no post-purchase dissonance here whatsoever. I'm super stoked with the Octanes that I have. Let's talk fit. So fit is really, really comfortable and secure. For what appears to be quite a big arm, there's rubber on the back. It's comfortable, it's flexible. The nose has got rubber as well, which moves and you can adjust and squeeze it in so it sits tight. Or if you don't want it tight, it can sit loose. But the bottom line is it actually stays firmly in place. It was designed for athletes. So if you're running, if you I couldn't think of the word, cycling, your head's moving the whole time, blah, blah, blah. They sit stuck, which I think is important. They're also built to handle sweat, rain, and splashes. Now, they are not waterproof. I've made a mistake many years ago when I talked about, in fact, it was headsets being splash proof and that you could go for your workout and they'll be fine. And someone reached out to me and goes, I swim when I work out. And you said I could go for my workout and everything be fine. I was like, no, I didn't say you could dive into the pool. So you can't dive into the pool or the ocean, just to clarify, or a river or any body of water for that matter. This is you're out running, it starts raining, your glasses will be okay. You are doing a hard workout, you're sweating, your glasses will be okay. That's what I'm talking about. Um, the functionality and ease are also pretty easy to use. So you have a touch button, you squeeze it on, it turns on, you squeeze it off, it turns on. That becomes a control button for you as well. So you can click it to answer a phone call, click it twice to send a call to voicemail, click it to activate Siri, or don't say that on the show, or Google, or even Bixby. There's a little like toggle switch for volume up and down. So yeah, it's pretty cool. They are voice activated. I've just said that, and it comes with a really cool app. I'll talk about that a little bit later on in the show. Call quality, really good. I have to give a shout out to Alon. He's always my guinea pig when it comes to anything headset or sound centric. I always phone him and go, "Can you hear me? Talking on the phone now." So yeah, he gave me the thumbs up. He said everything was cool. So call quality is fine. There's integrated microphones right there in the headset and in the arm. Sorry. Even if it's noisy or windy, he didn't seem to pick up any issues with that. So yeah, wind wasn't a problem. Car sounds in the background weren't a problem. What else am I going to tell you? Colors. The frames. So I think the images that I've got on the screen are the violet lens. I went for a silver lens. It's a more subdued, not as in your face, but they are polarized. So if you don't like a polarized lens, this is something to consider. They are polarized. I'm a big fan of polarization, especially when you do a lot of stuff that involves like being near water, like you go down to the beach when the sun bangs off the water and it bounces up. A polarized lens goes a long way. Fishermen will tell you that polarized lenses are game changers for them. So they are polarized. It really does reduce glares. I was walking and there was like all water and morning dew along the water along the street, and the sun was bouncing off it, and I didn't have any eye strain whatsoever. I assume it would be the same for snow. I don't live in a country with snow. I don't go into the snow. I don't believe human beings should be in the snow. And yes, I can hear you saying, "What about skiing?" I don't ski, so I can't tell you what they're like in the snow, but I'd have to believe they'd be really good in the snow. Um, okay, battery. So you can imagine there's not a massive battery inside there, but you still get 8 hours of continuous playback. I have tried this. It does work. I had a full day's use of worth out of it. They are designed to last basically as long as you do. I mean, again, remember, this is an athletic pair of glasses. So if you are going to be running around or walking around or whatever, they're going to keep up with you. The other thing that I wanted to talk about was so they come with a magnetic charger. Now I've put up this on the screen as what the packaging looks like, and you see the little cord. They come with this. They come with a magnetic charger instead of USB-C. Now some people will balk on this. I've been one of those people. I've spoken on shows before when I've said, we're all moving into USB-C. Bespoke adaptation and connections are a thing of the past. I mean, even Apple capitulated. However, not only with the Lucid glasses, I have another device that I use at home called Apollo. It has a bespoke connector as well. And the reason for that is space. You're talking about very limited space on your head to try and pump all of this stuff in. There has to be something that gives. The magnetic charger sits right along the bottom of the glasses, so it's not actually part of it. What they have done though is it comes with a USB-C connector. So although it's a magnetic connection to the glasses, it's got a female USB-C, so you can just plug any USB-C cable in. So you've only got this small little cable that you need to keep with you, and inside the hard shell case is a little pouch, little pocket. It just fits in there, so it's always with you anyway, even if you did need to charge up. But 8-hour battery, you could probably go the whole day without having to charge. So when you get home, just plug it into charge. Now, I mentioned the app, and I said I'd come back to that a bit later on. It does come with a free companion app. which now also includes the power of ChatGPT. So you can now have AI controlled by your voice through your glasses. I think I did mention that it does work with Siri, Google, and Bixby. So Bixby is, for those that don't know, it's Samsung's um, voice assistant. But I mean, even on Samsung, you can use Google as well. And it's pretty cool. You just go, hey, whatever your command is, ask Lucy, or just say the word lucid. And it opens up and fires up the app. And now you've got ChatGPT via voice. You can also type into the app as well. So if you actually were looking to type something or share the content that it comes back with. But I mean, just like generally, if you're out walking and want some stuff, you got it. There is a walkie-talkie feature inside there. Now, I didn't really get to use that because I don't know anyone else that has a pair of Lucid glasses here on the same time zone as awake as me. But maybe one day I'll get to try it. There was a thing on there that said channels, like open channels. That felt a little bit stalkerish. It was like, like how people listen to the police channels. I think you can just go into a public channel and talk to people about stuff. In fact, I've actually received a message saying, join the Lucid channel. We're talking about features and that. So clearly you can join a public channel and talk on your glasses. It does look weird. I have to say, I've seen myself in a mirror talking without holding a phone to my head, and then no apparent head buds inside there, which is, if people see the little earbuds sticking out of your head, they kind of know that you're on a call. Here, I'm just wearing sunglasses, and I'm talking away, and my hands are going like they're going now. So it does look a little bit weird, but anyway, be that as it may, that's what it is. So let's wrap up things with a Z. Lucid Reebok Octanes sunglasses. More than just sunglasses or smart glasses. Seamless integration of fashion, function, cutting edge audio. Basically, anyone who loves being active and wants to stay connected and entertained, as well as not lock themselves out from the surrounds, the Lucid range is perfect. And if not the Reebok, check out the website. I think I've got it scrolling on the screens. If not, it's Lucid, LUCYD.co. So LUCYD, lucid.co. Yeah, so that takes us to the end of things with a Z. So where are we now? Right, on to tech news. So iPhone 17 will be here tomorrow, next day. I think it's the 19th. It's formally available. I know the pre-orders are going. This is interesting. 30% of users may switch. Now, according to a survey done by a trade-in comparison website, they found that 30% of iPhone owners were considering switching to foldable phones. I think this research was done before the announcement. So, like, if Apple doesn't announce a foldable, they were thinking of switching. As you know now, the 17's been announced. There's no foldable, so we might have to wait till 2026. But the survey was saying that 20% of iPhone users would consider switching to the Samsung foldables, and 10% to the Google one if Apple doesn't release it. So it will be interesting to see if people do if they do switch. 3% or just over 3% were waiting for an iPhone that was foldable before upgrading the next iPhone as well. So there could be a double knock-on effect to Apple here as well, is that people might leave and move to a foldable from one of the different brands, and obviously they're leaving iOS. But more importantly, if a foldable doesn't come out, they might not buy the 17, which means sales take a hit. So it's going to be a testing year for Apple. I will talk about iOS 26 once I've played with it a bit more. There's a beta of it out at the moment, but I don't know if software upgrades and all the 17 will be enough. What else have we got? Speaking of 17, so this is also a pitiful score that the All Blacks got against the Springboks this weekend. Sorry, Coops, I had to bring that up as well. But if you didn't watch the Springboks versus the All Blacks, 43-17 to the Springboks. I've got a good mate, Coops, who's a Kiwi, and yeah, we've been having fun mocking him. But back to the technology show. So Xiaomi, I think that's how you pronounce it, Xiomi, that brand. Xiaomi have teased, of their upcoming 17 release. It's quite funny how they've got the same number 17 as well. They 17 Pro, it looks like it's going to have a second screen on the back. Now, for those that aren't watching, I've got a picture of it up. And this is not an artist impression. This was a release. This was a tease. But basically, if you take the big camera hump, and especially the new 17 Pro, which is going all the way across the back of the phone now, they've turned that into a screen. So this was a screen that will give you things like time, what music's playing, maybe a calendar notification. I'm assuming calendars. Probably the best way to consider this would be as useful as the screen that you get on the Samsung Flips, for example. They've got that little section of screen when the phone is closed. I assume this would give you the same kind of information. What I also think, looking at it and just thinking aloud, well, obviously it's allowed, it's my show, but looking at it, the fact that that screen is slap bang straight on with the cameras, it might help you now start creating content where you can now use the back cameras and see what it is that you're recording. Because that's always been the challenge for most creators. They can get like second screens that they can add on, or they just use the front facing camera because it's obviously critical that they can see what they're recording, right? Now you'd be able to use the power of your back cameras and still see what your viewers are seeing. So this might be something that actually shows a bit of innovation in smartphone design. Because I mentioned that on the last show when I talked about the 17 briefly, that I wasn't absolutely blown away and I haven't seen much innovation coming out of Apple. So this could be it. The only thing though is that, if your phone was flipped upside down on the desk, like in a boardroom meeting, as you would do at a restaurant, if the notifications are coming through, here's a friendly warning. Make sure it's nothing that's not safe for work or shouldn't be seen by someone else. Because you can just imagine sitting there and this ping goes up and is your boss still being a prick? So yeah, anyway. Microsoft, it's not often I have positive things to say about Microsoft. I have to capitulate that it is the platform for gaming. I am a gamer, love gaming. I do generally play on an Xbox, so I'm quite happy to cover the story. So Microsoft's Xbox PC app, which now will add Steam and access to other stores, will roll out yesterday actually. So you can now, with this app, you can now list games from your Steam, your Battle.net, or any of the other PC storefronts, and they all now sit as a launcher in your games that you've installed on your PC. So Microsoft has been testing this whole aggregated library in recent months. I was aware of it. The Xbox Insiders, which is like their beta crew, have been doing it, but now it's available to all Xbox PC apps. So if you didn't know about this and you've been following it, or you've been wondering about it, as of yesterday, the Xbox PC app has been updated, and you can now do it. So it's primarily designed for new, like full Xbox experience. It will come on the Xbox Ally device as well, which is their handheld. And I think this is obviously part of their efforts to try and bring that whole app on Windows to home PC gaming to handheld to, bringing their ecosystem 360. So here's a quote from one of the vice presidents of Xbox. He's basically saying, when you install a game from a supported PC storefront, it will automatically appear in your library within the Xbox PC app, as well as the most recent list of titles on the sidebar. That's quite cool. So like your most recent game, so you can just jump back into your favorite game clicking off the app. So yeah, I have to give them kudos there. Something useful from Microsoft. Well done. And finally, you can now finally leave the Nest app or delete it or get rid of it. So if you have Nest devices, specifically the thermostat, Google bought Nest 2-3 years ago, I think it has been already. And they've been like evolving their tech into the cameras and home speakers and that we now know. But they've still required you to use the Nest app for the thermostat. So there's nothing worse when you go smart home and you've still got to use a second app. That's been a bugbear for a lot of people. Well, no more. See, another bugbear that I've solved. The Google Home app now will support the Nest thermostat feature. So you'll be able to get all your controls in one place, which probably now also, if people were like oohing and eyeing about buying a Nest product or Google product, worry no more. I think that brings us to the end of Tech news, it does. Right, onto Are You Game. So I have to say, I am loving my journey with VR tennis. Yes, it's a shameless punt. If you didn't know, I'm involved with VR tennis and rolling it out across Australia and New Zealand with an associated STEM program. So if you want to get involved, if you're in the education facility, or even if you just want to play VR tennis, reach out. I'd love to share the love of what we're doing. But I actually got to play against a player in the Philippines this week. It was really cool. So I'm in my house, he's in his house. We jumped into a match environment. We connected. This is obviously using Meta VR, and yeah, we played. I'd like to say I won. I'd be lying, so I'm just going to leave it there. I am reviewing a new game. I know I keep saying I'm going to tell you about this exciting game. I am reviewing a new game. It's pre-launch. I'm under an embargo, so I can't even mention what the game is. I think the embargo lifts next week, which means the time for my next show, I will hopefully have my gameplay done and I can report back on it. So there's Are You Game. What else have we got here? Oh, that would take us to Q&A. I think it does. Right, so let's go to Q&A. I'm going to do it because I kind of brought up, I mentioned the 17 as well. Hey, Brett, are you getting the new iPhone 17? It's a loaded question. So this is one of those Brett's not getting it, so I won't get it questions. Then don't. Please don't make a decision based on what I'm doing when it comes to hardware. I've got personal reasons. So I'm actually going to answer this question in two parts. First off, I'm what they call an even number iPhone user. So what this means is I only get an iPhone every 2 years. So I'm on the 10, 12, 14, and I have the iPhone 16 pathway. So besides the cost of upgrading every year, which you don't need to do, and remember need versus want, the odd numbers are normally the innovative ones. This is like so I stay with the even numbers because the odd numbers are the innovation, but if it doesn't quite work, then they've got a year to fix it so that the next version comes out is better. Case in point, not that it didn't work, but the USB-C port was first on the iPhone 15, odd number. The new center stage camera, and there's nothing wrong with the USB-C port, by the way. The new center stage camera that's just been announced on the upcoming iPhone 17, 17, odd number. Will it work? I'm pretty sure it will. Would there be tweaks that need to be made? Possibly. I'll wait for 18. So that's the first part of my two-part answer to the question, right? The second answer to the question is if I did not buy my phones based on the odd or even number, it would still be a no. I don't see enough reason to upgrade. I'm super happy with my 16, so I will be waiting for the 18. Now, and that's only because I think that the features that have been announced on the 17, as I said, they don't warrant an upgrade for me. However, this could cause an issue for me too, because there is a possibility that we will see the folded phone next year. I think that Apple is going to be making a serious mistake if they do not bring out a foldable next year. You know, everyone was expecting it to happen this year. It didn't, for whatever reason. But yeah, I think, what do you call it? I lost my train of thought. Sorry. I think that if they don't make a foldable, then yeah, they're going to lose a big chunk of change, right? So yeah, I'm going to get FOMO if the 18 comes out with a foldable and I don't get it. So what I'm saying is 18 is still the even number, but do I go with a standard 18, tried and tested, fix all the things that went wrong with the 17, or do I jump into the fire with an untested foldable device? I don't know. We'll have to stick around for next year to see what happens. But after that whole long-winded monologue, no, I'm not getting a iPhone 17. iPhone 17, yeah. So I hope that answers the question. In the Q&A, that takes us to the end of the stream. So basically, that's it. So until next time, keep your screens clean and your knobs